happen organically or naturally, and they are the best type of links. And it's not focusing on the links, it's focusing on the content is what's important there. And Google will always say that great content is by far the number one. While links is the measurement, great content is the method by what great links are got. You can also do some social bookmarking, so set up sites on different, set up profiles on different social sites and link from the profile page to your own website. They'll be lower quality links, but again, they are links that Google will crawl and come back to your site when they combine them. Press releases are another one, because again, if you have something interesting to say, you get a press release out there. PR sites will link to it, but also if it's good enough, traditional media websites will link to it, like television station sites like Rte.ie or the New York Times or whatever, depending on what type of content it is. So press releases are a key point, and they'll always refer back to the website of the company they're talking about when they do that. Guest blogging is another issue, an opportunity. If you are an authority on a topic and others are looking for information on that topic, why not offer your services to write a blog on their site, and in return they will probably, in your bio, link back to your site. And again, that's another one. And again, depending on the trust of the site, it's a good one. The last one is target high trust sites. This is where the work is, and it's cold calling effectively, deciding what sites I want people to link on, identifying the sites you want people to link to you, and contacting them, figuring out who the webmaster is, how to contact them, sending a personalised email, because there's no point in saying, I don't know about you, but I get emails all the time asking me for links, but they're written in India and the English isn't what you'd expect. They need to be personalised if you're going to do it, and you need to follow up with a phone call in most cases if it's worth. If you're worth linking to, they will expect a call. Any questions? I can, yeah.
I wonder if you could, I don't know whether you've had any experience, but do you think that academics are beginning to, universities are repositories of masses, potentially masses and masses of content. Do you think that universities have begun on a scale of 1 to 100, where 100 is they've really cracked it? Generally speaking, where are we on a scale of 1 to 100, do you think, in terms of actually actualizing the potential of websites and so on to connect to the world and get material out there of use and value?
I suppose universities have to be careful, number one. Like in the States, for example, the universities are identified by their domain .edu. Rather than you wouldn't, if you were in the States, you wouldn't be ucc.ie, you'd be ucc.edu. Or in the UK, you'd be .ac.uk. Google gives a much higher weight to a link from a .edu or a .ac, and probably to UCC as well, because it's probably known as a university, but it doesn't have that identifier. But the holy grail of links is to get them from universities. The universities have to be careful who they link to and who they communicate with, because they don't want to be used as a source of spam, basically. In terms of finding of using their content, as an SEO practitioner, I would love to get my hands on a university website and use it to the benefit of the university. I just think there is huge, but it's not just universities haven't cracked it yet. There's newspaper sites that haven't cracked it yet. In terms of SEO, they have other issues with paywalls and all that, but aside from that, there's a huge opportunity. As a repository of content, universities are by far, I would say, the organisations with the most potential from an SEO point of view. How they're using it, I would say, it probably varies, but I would say they're probably tip of the iceberg.
About 50.
No, but tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah.
In relation to this, you should talk about the click-through rate for the Google rankings.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how that differs if you have ads on the same page as well?
Yeah, no, there's, sorry, that percentage is of organic clicks. The ad, and that's an average because, you know, it's different, it varies. And the research was done based on data that was released by AOL. But the average is that 80% click on the organic, so then that would be 90% of 80%, so 20% would click on the ads. So it is lower. People do tend to skip the ads in a lot of cases. However, for some business to business, they will click on the ads, you know, more. It'll be skewed, but the average, again, the research says is about 20% on the ads.
And in relation to the organic links, how would local services compete with, say, global sites, or like a local service, let's say Shades.ie, will never get the front page of Shades because the global weighting will always kind of overrule that on. So how would you compete, or how would advise they compete with that?
Well, number one, you'd be targeting, probably if you're a local business, you'd be targeting local search. So therefore, people who are searching for Shades in Cork. A global company is unlikely to go that granular and to target a key phrase like Shades in Cork. They're more likely to target the more generic shades in Ireland maybe, but not Shades in Cork. And that is one way. Also, you'll often see in ads where something is a local service or something like that. The maps will come in at the top of the page. Therefore, if you are listed on the maps and you are in the local area, and that is a critical part as well as people move to iPhones and things like that. If they're standing, you know, on Patch Street, they're typing restaurants. Google will not just go to restaurants.com, it will show them a map of nearby restaurants, or at least that's where it's heading. Yeah. So local businesses can compete, and that's why it's a huge change in the way media is operating, because in the past, a local business, because TV advertising was dominated by large companies, couldn't compete except through newspapers and things like that, but it just didn't have the same impact. So it has made a huge change from that point of view.
Google announced last week that they're changing their search strategies for 2013, and regarding AdWords, etc., and search engine optimization. Do you know what they are?
Hadn't heard. No, they're announcing things in relation to AdWords all the time. In terms of search engine optimization, they don't usually make. They basically say we're not talking about it most of the time. They did bring out a tool called to do with tags, so that you could tag pages on your website. I haven't really looked into it though. But again, I think a lot.
You're addressing the fact that most of the searches are coming from mobile devices now. They're going to change because
Well, absolutely. That is changing, and as I said a second ago, the maps and things like that will definitely come in the GPS. GPS-driven search will definitely become. It's evolving all the time. I haven't done this presentation before, but you know, I looked at the sites from an old presentation, and even the screenshots looked completely different because Google has, you know, subtle changes all the time, but they're you know, over a period of say 18 months, they're like chalk and cheese because and mobile is an absolute, you know, huge. As you saw, 2013 there'll be more mobile devices than PCs, internet-ready mobile devices than PCs and laptops. So you know, if Google says anyone else doesn't adapt to that, they'll get that behind.
You mentioned that 57% of people view product services online prior to anything. So if you want to online service that only takes payment online, does that go? Should they also offer a cash on delivery?
No, it depends on the product. It depends on the product. Like what that is like most purchases aren't made online for, across the whole basket of purchases. They're not made online, but yet 57% of the research is done online. But if a product is conducive to e-commerce and being sold online, I wouldn't worry about that if that is the right channel for it. Some things, that's the way they work. Like those numbers are averages as well because every market is slightly different. And that's why doing the research and doing the strategy is important. To before you touch your website, stand back and say, who am I targeting? What are they searching for? And what of those searches should I be targeting?
How would they, so how do you have to change your SEO strategy?
There isn't a huge difference in the way the algorithms are different. There's no question. So you won't see the same top 10 results in Google as you would in Bing or Yahoo. However, if you were to take the top 30 across a range of 50 searches, you'd find huge correlation between the results. So they're not that different. The thing about it is, if you're optimizing for Bing, you're ignoring, you're going after the wrong. Well, what you do for Google will be have a positive impact on Bing. It mightn't be bullseye, but if you're to pick one, pick Google. It'll be 90% the same anyway in terms of what you should be doing. So, for that little extra bit, I go the way Google needs it done.
Yeah, the European Parliament is working on data protection legislation at the moment. Would that not set everything about ranking and search engine back about 10 years if it passes through?
Sorry,
the European Parliament are working on data protection legislation at the moment. That would basically set everything, all these ranking systems back about 10 years if it goes through. Are these companies kind of looking at ways to kind of get around that, just to use personal information to search and how it specifically targets what people are looking for? If you put in something, then
that's more related to the advertising side of things in the Google AdWords, because they are using specific information and historic information of what you looked at and that kind of thing. So yes, it will have an impact there, but on SEO, not really. The only impact it will have on SEO is if you're a Gmail user or you log into Google, Google will serve back results based on what you've looked at before and things like that. But if you're logged out of Google, web history is automatically switched off, so it gives you the results that anyone else who's logged out would see. There may be an impact there, but that's probably levels the playing field rather than impacts it in a negative way. Any more? Sorry.
Web standards, compliance, and accessibility issues around
They do, but unfortunately not. Sorry. Do web standards and accessibility factors have an impact on SEO? They do, but a tiny impact. There are standards. It's advisable to stick to them, but I've seen sites ranked in #1 that fail all the tests. It's all the linking is if the website is recognised as an authority and have a few mistakes in the way they've structured it, it won't impact them too negatively.
In terms of font combination, is that a negative?
Yeah. I would group them. So I had an example there of how you would there. Like if there was really keywords there, first row would be similar, and then the next group would be similar, and to group them in part, because if you don't understand the value of the page, if you're trying to do a page on fruit, instead of this page on apples and oranges, then has less impact than if you have page for apples and page for